Well, hello friends. Today we are going to fix a bug. So yesterday I caused this bug in the previous video because now Windows Server runs as the window user, and because of that, anything that you spawn from the system menu up here will be running as the window user as well. So you can see System Monitor here spawned from the menu is running as window. Whereas if I spawn it from the taskbar, I get a copy of System Monitor running as anon, so that's my user account. And this is simply because the menu is running inside of the Windows Server process. So when we launch any application here, it just inherits the user ID and everything of the Windows Server. Now, the solution that I'm going for this is going to be to make a separate program that runs the system menu, and the system menu is this individual menu here that's always present. So I've already made a small little program that just runs as a separate program and implements the system menu. And oh shit, it can't even run now. I guess because there's some icon that's not the right size. I know what this is. This is the Minesweeper icon. Is actually this icon, or is it right here? It's actually 15 by 15, not 16 by 16. But the Windows Server based system menu does not care, but the new program does care. Okay, why does that not work? Okay, let me quickly edit that file so that we get rid of that icon. And we should replace it with a 16 by 16. But anyway, so the system menu app, it's just a dummy window here, and then it creates the same menu up here as we have here, although we don't have the reload window manager config file, because I think that option is not really an option that we need anyway. Now, changing the theme through this app doesn't actually do anything. You just get a little debug output, but we can launch the apps, so that's cool. So this little program here is just a direct translation of the Windows Server code. So I just took it and put it into a libgui application instead, and then I was also messing around with the theme settings here in QCreator, as you can see. But I think that I'm going to go back to my good old trusty. If you're not familiar with QCreator themes, by the way, this one is QCreator Dark, which is a very, very nice theme that I've been using for a long time. And if you're watching this channel, then you are already familiar with it. So anyway, this is the system menu program. And just to show you what it was before, it was in the menu manager, which is a class in the Windows Server program, and it's still here right now. In the menu manager, we still do this thing where we iterate through everything in res apps. So I can show you what that looks like. So in res apps, we have these files here, and each one of these files, how did I even do that? Each one of these files, .af for app file, it represents one of these entries here. So the menu will be populated by whatever it finds in res apps, basically, and they look like this. So it's just a little ini format file that describes the file, describes the program with name, icons, and what category it goes into. So that's what we do here. We build up that menu, and create all of the everythings for that, and also make a themes menu with everything in res themes. And in res themes, it looks like we have these files right here, and it's just a long, again, ini file with colors. And then there is some special entries for the about, which is just a fork and exec of the about program, and the shutdown, which is a fork and exec of the system dialog program. Anyway, the main thing that we need to do now is to allow the system menu program to sort of provide the Windows Server menus. So first thing we'll do is we'll just get rid of everything here in the menu manager in Windows Server because we don't need it anymore. It's going to be provided by system menu program. So I think we can just get rid of all of this and all of that. And there's going to be a lot of nice benefits to this, by the way, because this means that the Windows Server can run as the window user, and the Windows Server was forking and execing to spawn these programs when you click on something in the menu, but now we'll actually be able to pledge a smaller set of functionality, which means that the Windows Server will be more limited in what it can actually do. So we have this very, very, very broad pledge here at the start of Windows Server, and we can immediately get rid of proc and exec because we no longer need to spawn programs. So that'll be really good. Proc and exec go out the window. I think that's what we'll end up with now and for now instead. So it still has the ability to create files and write files and so on, but it's a little reduction, and it's a nice reduction, so I'll take it. So let's see, and then of course we have all the menu manager members as well. We got to get rid of those. So all of the stuff related to themes, and the themes menu, the system menu, the app categories and everything, blah, blah, blah. The theme index is something else. Then we can get rid of, oh no, wait, hold on. Let's not get rid of the system menu like that. We still need to have some kind of a system menu, but how is this going to work? How do we use this now? I've also changed the font in QCreator, so I'm not super used to the way this font looks. This italic here is so exaggerated and it's kind of unpleasant. Can we change that? Take me back to Source Code Pro. So teach me to mess around with the theme settings. Oh, look at that tasteful italic, not exaggerated. Very nice. Okay, so now this. Oh, what's wrong with my throat? The system menu now, since it's going to be provided by an outside program, we might be system menu less, so that's going to have to be a state that we tolerate if no system menu program is running. So we'll say menu manager, if we have a system menu, then we will toggle it, or maybe we should even put this inside of a helper. So menu manager, toggle system menu. Let's do it that way. And we can say if m system menu, then toggle menu m system. And this will now be a star. Because I think we're going to use a weak pair for this, since it's going to be owned by one of the clients of the Windows Server. Okay. A lot of complaining here. So don't need to worry about that part, but right here, for each active menu bar menu, so I guess here we just have to check if we have a system menu. then we will run the callback on it. All right. Theme menu, right. And, well, we don't need this anymore either. Internal menu by ID, this can go away. It's just something that we were using to implement the themes menu. Assert menu client. So actually, this is going to turn into a really nice cleanup, I think, because it's going to mean that all menus from now on will belong to one of the clients of the Windows Server. Previously, Windows Server had to manage both menus that lived in Windows Server and windows that were provided by a client. And the windows that were provided by clients, they could potentially go away if the client is connected, right? Whereas the Windows Server owned menus were permanent. And so if we look at the menu constructor here, we can see that it takes a client connection for the constructor, but it can actually be null. And in the glorious future, we don't have to care about the situation where the client is null. Now there's always going to be a client. And does that mean that we can, yeah, that means that we can like simplify some cases where you're currently null checking to see if there is a client. Maybe it's not as common as I think it is, but okay, it's just these two places. But anyway, it's still nice to, we can turn some pointers into references, and that'll be a good thing. So, did we get rid of everything we had to get rid of at least? Now what we're going to need is some kind of API where the system menu program can tell the Windows Server, hey, this menu that I have instantiated, that's going to be your system menu, right? Okay, that was a very upset sequence of crashes. What went wrong? Oh shit, we have not pledged proc, so we cannot do a boost. Okay, well, seems like I got ahead of myself there. So we still need proc for now, but we can lose the exec at least. Because boosting is part of proc. So let's keep proc. Although I think we're going to have to implement boosting a little bit differently, but boosting, by the way, in Windows Server is when a program is in the foreground, then we want to give it like a little bit of a priority boost, just so that the foreground process has like, it runs a little smoother. It gives it a little more scheduling priority, but that's currently broken anyways after the window user change. So, okay, so now this now this all ends up kind of strange, and this because okay, I don't know what is up. The way that we decide which menu is going to be, oh shit, which menu is going to be displayed in bold is just that it's the second one. That's how previously you always saw the app menu here, and it was in bold. But now that we don't have a system menu, things get a little weird. But now we do have this guy's menu showing up in the right slot. We just have to make sure that he's always there, because this is not what we want it to look like. This is weird. Okay, so then what we'll do is we'll make a new API in the Windows Server IPC definition. We have set application menu bar, So I think we'll add a similar API and we'll call it set system menu ID. And this will be a synchronous API. Okay. WinServe connection. So now we need to handle a new type of message, and it's going to be this one right here, set system menu. And how is this going to look like? Well, let's see. We need the menu manager, and we need to tell him set system menu. Okay, and then we need an API for that. So system menu. Set system menu. Make weak putter. Okay. Now we have to find the menu. So where do we have them? Oh, wait, hold on. This is in the client connection class. So we're handling an incoming set system menu message on the client connection. And in M menus, aptly named, we find, or maybe we can, what is that? It's probably a hash map of integer ID to ref putter to Windows Server menu, but let's just take a look at it. M menus, hash map of integer ID to non-null ref putter to menu of menu. That's even better. So we can just find the message menu ID that we're looking for, and if IT is end menus end, then I would say this is a misbehavior. Set system menu called with invalid menu ID. And we will fail and disconnect the client. But if it succeeds, we will return a menu response. Just an empty response, just to say that that went fine. So menu is going to be IT value something like that. Is that going to work? And then how do we invalidate everything? Can we invalidate like literally everything maybe? I mean, what we really need to invalidate is like the menu bar rectangle. Maybe that should be done by menu manager actually. We'll just try it out and see if it works at all. Oh, very, very crashy. I'm sorry. Oh, right. We have to rebuild all the things because I just changed the IPC protocol. So that when I change the protocol here, I'm actually, because I inserted the new message here, then all of the other messages, their IDs change because it's all based on message IDs. And if we look in Windows Server endpoint, so by the way, this endpoint description file here, Windows Server.ipc, it turns into Windows Server endpoint.h. which is, this is all generated from this IPC description, right? And here are the different message IDs. So I just inserted the set system menu here, and it became message ID 15. And we can actually go and look at this because we have some rebuilding to do anyway. So this is the response message that we get, and here is the message that was generated. I really like the IPC code generator, how it's coming along so far, because it's made working on Windows Server so much more pleasant than it was in the past, when we had like this big mess of a struct of unions. This is very tasteful. All right, so we are up and running. And what if we start a system menu? It seems like it does not care that I gave it a system menu. All right. Then why is it like that? We need to find that out. So why did this work before? How did it? I'm just thinking, did we throw something away here that I'm not thinking of? System menu, this and that. Oh, right. I'm stupid. I'm not calling the new API. So we got to go in the system menu program, and we will need to make a special call to the Windows Server. So we'll get the Windows Server connection object here, and then we will call not appset menu bar, nor will we call window construct anymore because we don't need that dummy window. But instead, and we don't need a menu bar either, we will just call Windows Server GUI Windows Server connection send sync messages Windows Server set system menu. And this is that message type that was generated, by the way. And now we just have to give it the menu ID of the menu that we created. Why can't I read that? It's private. Well, you know what? I'm just going to make it public because it is useful to me. Besides, from menu ID is public already, so it's a bit strange. Anyway. That means that we have to rebuild a little bit of stuff because menu.h changed, but it's not too much. I did a fair amount of work this weekend actually on using forward declarations a lot more so that stuff like code only includes the code that it needs. So that was quite a big improvement because now, like, even if I make a change to what was previously a very commonly included header, now the rebuild is actually a lot smaller. Now we actually only rebuild stuff that has menus in it. This type of thing tends to bit rot though, so it's probably going to go back to being bad, and then you have to go spend some more time fixing it up again. That's C++ life. Hopefully that's something that will become a thing of the past once we have modules supposedly coming in C++ 20. But of course I'm not going to get excited until it's in the compiler, and then I'll get very excited and probably try to rewrite all of the code to use it. But we'll care about that when we get there. Okay. We misbehaved. We were called with an invalid menu ID. Oh, why does that happen? I guess because we never add it anywhere, then it... Oh, right. So menus are lazily constructed. So here, we don't actually have a menu ID yet. Because we have to do this thing where we realize the menu, and we don't actually realize the menu until you add it to a menu bar, and then you add that menu bar, you set that menu bar to be the menu bar of your app. At that point is when we actually create the Windows Server side data structures. But we don't want to do that here because we're not going to add this to a app menu bar in the traditional sense. So we're just going to make like a little bit of a helper here, like realize menu if needed. And this will maybe, oh wait, does this thing is a no op maybe if it's already realized? No? Okay. We'll say if menu ID is -1, realize menu. Okay. Yeah. It's a little bit awkward, but it'll be okay. And now we have to rebuild again. Maybe I'll use a little bit more parallelism. Although I'm not sure when I'm going to get any. Like someone was saying, we're missing that cross-directory parallelism currently in the build. Or we're only parallelizing directories. We're not parallelizing within one directory anymore. That's costing us a fair amount of build time. But it's all good. I got patience. Okay. So, okay, there it is. Looks a little stupid. So now, oh, it's actually there. And it's in the right place. It just looks stupid at first. Okay, so it probably needs a little bit of help to get set up correctly, but then once it's set up, then it's in the right place and it stays put. And we're able to toggle it with the Windows key, or the super key, or the logo key, or whatever you call it. And now we can launch a terminal and it runs as an on. So that's good. But that initial launch was not very good. So what the heck happens here? Right. We're going to need to get a little bit smarter about this stuff. So I think the first thing we'll do is we'll put the set system menu stuff out of line so that we can do more logic without complicating the header too much. So set system menu. Then here we'll do some stuff. So maybe one thing we should do is reset the menu bar, because I think when we set the menu bar, that's when we actually compute the different rectangles and stuff that go into the menu bar. Maybe we can just call this with the current menu bar and things will just reset themselves. Wouldn't that be nice? So we'll just call like current menu bar. Per. No, not current menu, sorry, bar. User and sync and run. Ah. And maybe we don't need to invalidate that weird way that we did here. That might be nice. Of course, I have to rebuild if I want to catch that change I just made. All right, system menu, bring it home. Okay, so now it recalculated everything right away. And basically, I think that this is the good place where we want to be. Now it's behaving the way that we want, right? So the next step is just to spawn it on startup. Let's do that so that we don't have to launch it manually because it's a bit silly. So we'll just put it in system server for now. And we'll put him right here. And we'll call him by, am I forgetting his name? System menu. And the user is going to be anon. and we'll say keep alive as 1. I think that's maybe pretty good. And look at that. It's now there on startup. It's pretty good. You could actually see it for a split second there, glitching into place. Not this time. There you can see it a little bit, but it's not like that matters. At least not at this stage of development. It's the kind of polish that we would care about later on. But I quite like it. So let's do something about, does this work? Yes, Hack Studio still works. Very cool. So let's do something about the themes, because right now they don't work right. And we're going to need some kind of way to tell Windows Server which theme to run, or to show, use, whatever verb. So we have theme switched. And here, yeah, I put this fix me here earlier. So I think we're gonna do something like GUI Windows Server connection, and we will, should this be synchronous? It doesn't need to be synchronous, right? It can be asynchronous. Or we can also say if it went well or not. Maybe it's okay if it's synchronous. I mean, I think it's okay to send synchronous messages to a server, because as the client, you're at the mercy of the server anyway. So you can afford for the server to block, or to take some time to respond to you, because we have nothing else to do in this process anyway. But we definitely wouldn't want the Windows Server sending out synchronous messages to any of its clients. Synchronous in the sense that, like, we will block waiting for a response, because we don't want Windows Server to block ever, unless in the one case where there's literally nothing to do, then we just block until there's something to do. So here we gotta send a message. Wait, how does this look again? Sends sync. Okay. And that will give us a response. Messages, Windows Server. What are we gonna have? Set system theme, maybe? And so we'll just give it the path. Something like that. And we gotta go and define that. So Windows Server IPC. We'll put it at the bottom this time. Set system theme. Path. And it will return a bool success. How about that? Assert response success. So now, because I made that very last message, it shouldn't break the code. But I still have to edit the window client connection, because now it needs one more function. Theme. And here we'll just window manager the set system. Oh, how do we do the theme thing? Theme. How were we previously doing the theme? We have window manager update theme with a path and a name, apparently. Why did we need the name? Theme name. Oh, because we save it. Oh, right. That's a bit curious that we're saving the name of the theme. I guess we can do that, but okay, that's goofy. Why did I do it that way? Anyway, update theme, message, theme path, message, theme name. Does this fail? It can't even fail. Oh, I guess here. If we don't have a new theme, we'll return false. And will this thing let him signal success? Return true. All right. And the IPC, we wanted the theme path and the theme name. I think that's okay. It's just a little bit strange, but whatever. And redefinition. Where? Oh, I guess maybe I already fixed that issue. And you don't like this because? Where are we? Server connection, set system theme. Did I forget to update this call right here? Yeah, of course. Okay, so can we set a theme? Well, we can. Although the menu is going to need a little help. Look at that, it's outdated. Bloop. We need to invalidate that guy. But we're pretty close to good, so I guess we can just look at what we were doing before. How did it take care of it? Oh, right. We have this theme index. So the theme index is this cute little thing. It's the way that I came up with to make sure that all the menus get updated after the theme changes. So they keep track of what was the last seen theme index in the menu manager, and then if the menu is out of sync with the theme changes, then we have this helper here, redraw if theme changed. And because menus are cached, so menus stick around even when they're not on screen, then we still have them in memory so that we can pop them up right away again. And we call redraw if theme changed on the menus before we show them to make sure that if there was a theme change, then we don't want to show the old version of the menu bitmap, right? So we want to redraw it at that stage. So what we are lacking now is we are not updating the theme index. That needs to happen. This guy, theme index, we don't need that in system menu program. That's theme index is an internal mechanism in the Windows server. So we want to do this after the call to update theme, essentially. We can even do it in update theme. So whenever the theme changes, we'll do a ++m theme index, or no, this is not the place. Oh, it's the menu manager. Theme index. Can we access it from here? No, it is private. Well, then we will do did change theme. And that's something that we will just add here. Void did change theme. And this will simply do theme just like that. Okay. It's a bit sad that we didn't lose the forkability of the Windows Server because of the boost thing. We can't drop the proc pledge, but at least we could drop exec. So, oh, that still didn't look quite right. Oh, this freaking look, man. Why was that not enough? Did change theme. Theme index goes up. And menu bar. Did we do something else as well previously? Update the theme. Update theme. Are we missing some redraw somewhere? No. So we're not redrawing the menu bar. So where's the menu bar? Menu manager has a window, right? Yeah. He has this window right here. And we should invalidate everything. Are we not invalidating something? Invalidate. Set current menu bar. Let me call refresh. And then we draw, and then we invalidate. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure that we have a clean build first of all, because it's a bit weird if we don't. Let's take a look at our committability situation. The Minesweeper thing I don't like. Maybe we can do something about that. Maybe we can fix the bitmap actually. Icons. I think so. We're using one of the game icons from Minesweeper, the game, as the icon in the menu, and in the game all the squares are 15 by 15. So essentially we've just been loading this 15 by 15 image and showing it in a 16 by 16 slot. So I think maybe that's what we'll do here. We'll just you know, do this, and we'll make this. This is not very nice, but this will work for now. Just to get around this issue. So Minesweeper. Because then we can like commit that fix and be done with it. And we'll have a stupid duplicate icon with a little extra white space. But there it is at least. Okay, so now let me just look at the theme thing. Change the theme, and why does this guy not update? That's so weird. At least the menus themselves have updated now. So if we change the theme to Xmas, it's only the menu bar up top. That's So we're just missing some kind of invalidation of him. These res icons. Face. And actually 16. Add in a Minesweeper app icon. Let's actually use 16. the old one, the one we were using was actually 15 by 15, which tripped up some assertion when loading it into a menu using the GUI function code path. Code path. So that just gets rid of that problem at least. And then, okay, so we just need to force some kind of an invalidation of the I feel like we should be getting this refresh here. I don't understand why we're not getting that. Because we're doing set current menu bar, right? Set current menu bar. We're not returning early from here in any way. So, if I force a refresh like that, I just want to see it happen. Okay, refresh does not do what I want it to do. Window invalidate. I'm calling draw, but it seems like it does not care. So where do we get the palette from? From the window manager. Palette, okay. Oh, wait, hold up. I'm looking at set system menu. That's not where I want to be looking. I want to be looking at update theme. So this guy calls window manager update theme. Okay. And that calls menu manager did change theme. And maybe we should do this out of line 2 then. So we want to bump the theme index, and then we want to refresh. Also, how is this used? Oh, right, yeah. I was thinking if this was going to be like a greater than or less than or something like that, but it's just equality compare, so that's good. Okay, so now we'll force out a menu manager refresh when the theme changes. So I was looking here, getting all confused. And of course you get confused if you look in the wrong place. Look at that. Just updates right away. This theme is kind of nice, by the way. Nord. It's it wasn't me who made it. It was who made it? It was Attila. I don't think Attila made any other things, just Nord. It's a popular theme, apparently. I can see why it would be. It's very nice colors. Personally, I like the dark theme a lot, and this one is my favorite, obviously. Well, sometimes I want to change some things about it, and maybe we will, but not right now. Now we're just going to like what we have. So now our little system menu program runs the menu. So let's go and enjoy what we can find in the system monitor. Let's look at per user stuff. So we have Windows Server being run by Window. And then we have the system menu right here being run by Anon. Oh, he does not have a pledge. We should set one up. And we should also set up Veil so that he can't read files and stuff. But let's commit what we have first, and then we'll do the security mitigate. What do you call it? Security mitigations? Restrictions? pledges and unveils anyway. So what's this stuff right here? We'll do this one separately. Lib GUI allow, forcing expose GUI menu ID, and also allow forced realization. Forced realization, menu realization is when we instruct Windows Server to create the server menu objects on our behalf. And then this stuff is, and Windows Server will say Windows Server allow remove system menu and allow remove internal system menu. Or no, let's say make way for the out of process system menu. This patch removes the system menu from the internal from Windows Server and replaces it with two APIs, two IPC APIs. Set system menu, set system theme, theme path, theme name. These APIs will allow us to complete the system menu program and move it entirely out of process. You know, actually, pledge. I feel like I didn't need to change the pledge in this commit. It's kind of gunky that I did, so let me tweak that. Maybe we can just slip it back in there. Amend. And why were they like that? Proc exec. I'm still messing this up. Okay. How difficult can it be? Okay, there we go. That's better. And then we can do the pledge as a separate commit, because I wanted to do a separate commit anyway, where we fix up all of the permission stuff. System menu. Set finish the implementation and start this at boot. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And so that was really simple. We just call those two APIs, and the Windows Server takes care of the rest. Okay, now we can finally get rid of the exec pledge. So we'll do one commit with that. Drop the exec pledge entirely, pledge promise entirely. Now that the system menu is out of running, it's out of process, we no longer need to call to exec from Windows. We're allowing us to drop this critical promise. This promise is very cool. Dropping exec is very, very nice. Because with proc you can still do a fair amount of stuff, but at least you can't fork an exec. So the big benefit of not being able to exec in this context is if you can't exec, that means that you can't get out of your pledge promise set. Whereas if you can exec something, then you can exec something that pledges differently, right, or doesn't pledge at all. But now you are completely stuck with this pledge, which I think is pretty sweet. So if the Windows Server is compromised, this is all it can do. Whereas previously it could exec and do more stuff. We can actually get rid of bin x, because now we don't need to be able to execute stuff from bin anymore. That's nice. Drop the bin x on there. Remove unveil bin x. This is no longer needed. Now that we have a system menu. Cool. So now Windows Server can only access /temp. Actually, no, can't even access /temp here. What can he even do? He can open res, which is where the themes are. That makes sense. And etc pass wd. But I think we don't need that either. Maybe we can get rid of that too. Just locking things down more and more here. This is very, very nice. We didn't even get the system menu yet, which we will very, very soon. Okay, so we're still running. Let's get ourselves a look at his paths. Okay, so this is all the stuff that he can read. Can only access res and this file. That's super nice. All right, so Windows Server. But let's bake that into the previous one actually. Remove unveil bin x and c pass wd r. And we can say bin and c pass wd. Yeah. Awesome. And now let's do system menus. So maybe we can start with this pledge here and work our way down. So system menu main. And I think we'll just do a pledge before we go into steady state here. So we need Stadio. We don't need video. Don't need threads. We need shared buffers to send images and stuff, to send the icons to the Windows Server. We need accept at the moment because of the RPC implementation. We need rpath if we want to load a new theme. And do we care about that though? Well, we're still going to need it because we're going to get notified if the theme changes. Even if we don't actually have any windows of our own, we're still going to get notified and told to reload the theme. So we don't need to write files. We don't need to create files. We don't need to open a new Unix socket. We do need to fork, and we do need to exec. And then let's unveil. I think res, we need to read from res because that's where the themes are. Unveil. And other than that, I think we are fine with nothing more. So how will this look in practice? It's a very respectable pledge, I think, for this program. Let's see if it runs. Okay, so show me the PIDs. Where is it? Here, system menu. Okay, so now it's running and it has this little pledge, and the veil is locked, and the unveiled paths is just res. So he needs res for, that's where all the app description files are, and where the themes are if they change and so on. Can we still execute a file though? We can't. We can't do that. So we need to allow /bin for execution. But that's okay. We can do that. That's why Windows Server had bin after all. Bin x. So it's kind of nice. We don't open it for. We can't even read from bin. You can only execute files in bin. All right, show me the system menu right here. Okay, and now we can run programs from here. And they come up. And so, lovely. Let's just commit this system menu. Use, pledge, and unveil. Cool. So I think this is going to be the end of today's video. So what have we really achieved here? Well, the system menu, which used to be part of Windows Server, and so ran as the window user, separate from my normal user account. It has been removed from Windows Server and now runs in a separate program as my user account. And that separate program is allowed to start programs on my behalf, which is the original reason why we wanted to do it. But doing this has also allowed us to place additional restrictions on what the Windows Server is able to do. So he can no longer use the exec syscall to start another process. He can only fork himself, but he cannot replace his executable image. And we were also able to further restrict which directories the Windows Server can look into, because now he can't look into bin, even though it was only for execution actually, so it's not super important. And it was also because he didn't have, or because we removed exec, right? But we also took away his access to etc passwd, which again is not the most important thing, but it's always nice to shrink the available functionality for a process that doesn't need it. So I think I'm pretty happy with this. Let me start one as root actually, so that we can look at window. Look at the Windows Server and his little set of things. Nice. Okay. If you made it this far, then I thank you for watching, for hanging out, and I hope you saw something interesting. I don't know if this type of stuff is interesting to other people. It's very interesting to me. Like I really like taking these like Unix-y concepts, and a lot of stuff that we have loaned from OpenBSD here with Pledge and Unveil, but also like just basic Unix mechanisms like user accounts, file system permissions, and using all of those things together to sort of separate things from each other in the desktop environment. Because you're so used to seeing these things in the text-based Unix environment, but it's fun to bring them to the desktop and try to actually apply them consistently and like usefully in the desktop system. I like it a lot. So thanks for hanging out, and I will see you next time. Bye.